How's it going, folks? I'm Matt. This is Photosynthetic. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Industry. Today, I think this is something everybody's really going to be interested in because this product has absolutely been sweeping the community. We've got Ryan here from Autocure. They are the Canadian distributors for Grove bags. Ryan, welcome to the show today.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Excited to get the word out of Grove bags.
And the word is getting out. I mean, my community, my Discord, it's all the rage. I mean, we've been talking about these for the last several months now, and it's just something that's really got the community excited. Although before we get into the specific products, why don't we talk a little bit about Autocure, how you came to bring the company online, and just sort of the products that you're carrying and the basics behind it.
Yeah, so Autocure started back when my business partner, he was growing cannabis. He got to the curing stage. He learned about having to burp jars, humidity packs, and he kind of thought to himself, there's got to be something a little better than that out there. He did some research. He found Grove bags online. He put in an order, or he wanted to put in an order, and shipping was just extremely high. He contacted the manufacturer and inquired why is shipping so high, and they said we don't have distribution in Canada. And kind of light bulb went off. He said, "Well, do you want distribution?" He was looking for a way to get out of his business he was in. I was also looking for a new opportunity. It was kind of in the middle of COVID. I'd lost my construction business, so we were hunting for something, and this kind of just fell in our lap. And we did some testing for about 2 months, I think, because the bags were pretty hard to believe.
Yeah.
The technology, we said, could they really do what they say they're doing? And that's what we hear all the time, right? After 2 months of testing, we made a deal with Grove bags that we were going to start distributing Grove bags in Canada. So that's how Autocure Cannabis came to be. The name, obviously, we had to pick a distribute company name, and Autocure Cannabis made a lot of sense with Grove bags being our flagship product.
Right on. And I mean, that's the thing. This is the product that everybody in the community is really hyped about. But there's also those going, well, this doesn't make any sense. It's just a plastic bag. But it's more than that. Can you speak to the Grove bag products themselves and tell us a little bit about how they actually work?
Yeah, so Grove bags has a patent on these bags, of course. And what they've patented is something called Terp lock technology. And it's a 6-layered film, and the bags are essentially they're tailor engineered for the physiology of cannabis. So each layer serves a purpose for curing, storing, and kind of the boring one, I guess, is durability. But durability is great. You know, like these bags are tough. They're tough to puncture. UV protection for the window bags to preserve terpenes. You don't want to let any UV in the bag. Anti-static, so you don't want any trichomes to be ripped off when you're putting your nugs in and out of the bag. Smell proof, of course. When you're heat sealing, we got full smell proof. And then I think the key ones that people kind of scratch their head at are the off-gassing of oxygen. Yeah. So these bags are going to allow the unwanted gases to essentially diffuse through the bag. And this is why you don't need to burp Grove bags. And less oxygen, of course, means less oxidation, less degradation. And then because of that, we're preserving terpenes. So a lot of people are going to test these bags. And one of the tests they're going to do is just open it up after a week or two and smell it and see if the bag's working. And they're going to know, are they going to have that hay kind of smell? Or is it going to be the freshest bud they've ever smelled in their entire lives?
It's like getting punched in the face by goodness, man.
Yeah.
That was the thing, and that was really the test for me was, that first time, okay, I'm gonna put some stuff in there. I'm believing in the technology because it sounds like it should work, and you just open it up and it's just right in the face. Just that amazingly cured smell. Yeah,
you become a believer after a couple of weeks in Grove bags.
Absolutely,
Yeah, and then the final layer, of course, is the moisture control.
Yeah.
And that is another, again, we're not burping. And I wish I could tell you how they did it. We tried to get out of them, not a chance. There's no way they're going to tell us. Yeah, for sure. And of course, with no burping, you also don't need humidity packs. And it's going to regulate. That's one of the tests we did. Obviously, we put a hygrometer in there. with a growth bag, a regular Ziploc, all types of bags. And you could see, even within hours, that the growth bags is regulating the humidity within the bag. And it's just continually working to create the perfect microclimate for curing and long-term storage. It's an amazing thing, right? Yeah, it's just a plastic bag until you use it, and
Yeah,
it becomes
yeah.
part of your process.
So then that humidity, sorry, the humidity, the room that it's being stored in the bag itself, if you're really dry or if you're really moist, does that hinder the process or add to it?
We haven't seen any effects on the outside environment in terms of humidity, but of course, temperature is key. In the ideal curing temperature, we've been told from growth bags themselves, is 16 degrees Celsius. You're obviously, the buds are going to sweat more the hotter it is, and you don't want them kind of sweating all that moisture out when the bag's kind of pushing more out than it has to. You kind of want to find that balance with to work with the bag. So 16 degrees is what we found works the best. Where I'm in Calgary, it's really dry.
Yep.
So I'm finishing a 5-month test on a half-pound bag. I just finished it, actually. I'm done. I can't wait anymore. But yeah, I watched the hygrometer go from, I put it in a little bit wet, 64, because I know it's going to come down. And I watched it go to 62, 61, 60, and it went 59, 58. And I thought, oh no, like the bag's not working. And then back up 59, 60, 59, 60. And it's hovering in that sweet spot.
Just settling in there.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So then we talk about the perfect dry, of course. This is very difficult to achieve. And then the cure being the second part of that process. But what if I've over dried considerably, or what if I haven't dried enough? How does the bag deal with this?
Well, of course, the bag can only do so much.
Yeah.
It does have its limits, and the perfect cure, obviously, a perfect dry is going to help you get that perfect cure. But of course, if I've over dried a couple of times, my nugs weren't quite as dense as I thought they were, and I came in one day and yeah, they were brutal. And I just threw in a couple of humidity packs. That's okay. Of course, we don't want to use humidity packs with these bags. That's the point. But there is a small learning curve if you're new to this. I think people have been kind of scared of mold, rightfully so, and they'll tend to go on the drier end with more traditional methods of curing. Whereas with these bags, I'm going a little more on the wet side, because I
Yeah.
know that excess moisture is going to be pushed through. If I get to like 65%, I will burp it if I didn't do a good enough job curing. Those days are kind of behind me now. We've been using these bags for 10 months, kind of hit that sweet spot. I'll do the snap test. And I kind of do it like right before the snap test is complete, where your stem is kind of cracking. I try to like get it a day before. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that preemptively. If you're using a wood meter, so the prong meter, you can go for 10 to 12% right in the stem. I like to go on 11, 12%. Again, I'm okay with my buds if they get to 64, 65, not so much, but 64 in the bag. And, after a couple of days, it'll settle down into that safe range.
I've played around with that wood stem test, found it to be a little variable depending on where you measure on the stem. So when you're taking that measurement, are you going right by the base of the bud on the stem itself?
Yeah. Yeah. Right
Okay.
on in the thickest part of the stem. Yeah. And like with over drying, I've also thought a couple of times I've over dried, and I just let it sit for like 24 to 48 hours, and it just slowly creeps up to that sweet spot. So if it's over dried, give it some time, of course. And then again, if it's too wet, burp it if you have to. Same kind of rules apply, right? And you're just trying to get it to that spot where you're comfortable that the bag's going to take over, and then heat seal for the absolute best results.
Right on, right on. So then heat sealing, that's of course going to be long-term storage. Or I guess what would you guys recommend for the heat sealing in just terms of relative storage?
So in the beginning, we were heat sealing larger bags, and even just using the Ziploc, for example. And as you're using your product, each time you use you want to get some product, you got to open the bag, and that's burping, right?
Yeah.
Opening up the bag to get some bud is burping. And if you keep burping over and over and over again, you're letting out that moisture and you're letting in oxygen. So what we found is it might be a better idea to use a bunch of smaller bags,
I was gonna
keep
say.
those, right? And now you kind of just get one bag for whatever you use per week, and package your product that way.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you're
and
not, yeah,
look at the bags here and stuff. Like there's a good amount of. I guess you can see there. Like you can heat seal these and cut them, and heat seal them, and then cut them.
yeah,
Like you got several uses there too. So
yeah.
yeah, I
And
think they
keep in
work well.
mind, you can go below the Ziploc.
I guess so. Hey, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
Ziploc's just there for that continuous open and close. So
yeah,
very cool, very cool. Now,
yeah.
what about cleaning? Do I need to clean the bags? If I put isopropyl in them, will I hurt the coatings?
So we're recommending just water and a bit of dish soap,
Okay.
just like the microbial properties. Um, for home growers, you're probably not too worried about cross contamination with other strains.
Yeah.
With the LPs we work with, we say for the cost of the bag and the labor savings and the increased quality, to play it safe and just get a new bag for every cure. And the bigger guys are going with 5 pound, 10 pound curing bags. So the cost is, it's pennies per gram, right? When you do the math.
Absolutely. And they come all the way up to it's a big like the oil drum size, isn't it?
Yeah, the 55-gallon drum liner.
That's crazy.
They're big. Yeah. Yeah, growth bags, they've been around for 5 years. They know the industry, and they've pretty much made a bag or a liner or a wicket for every possible process, right? The totes, the 20-gallon bins. They've even got a 200-pound hemp super sack. Yeah, you could fit a car in this thing. It's insane.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Wow, 200 pounds. Earlier, you had talked about the sweating process. This is actually something that I've recently learned about. Could you talk to that a little bit and why it's important?
It's pretty straightforward. So it would be more if you have large nugs or dense, and you've got just some of that moisture in the center of the bud that could be a mold problem that growth bags can't really deal with because it's in the center of the buds itself. So if you were to place product in just a regular paper bag for 24 hours, that has the effect of pulling some of that moisture out from the center and kind of distributing that moisture more throughout the entire plant instead of being centralized in the middle. And again, that's going to give you a better product in the end, and you're going to feel a little safer. You don't want like all that excess humidity in the center, because you got a product that smells good, maybe a little off, and you crack open your bud and you have a horrible surprise, right? So
Oh,
I'm
and it's the
kind of
worst.
new to that too. I learned about that just through this business, but it does make sense for the right size and density of product.
Yeah, well, I think that makes a lot of sense too, just to even out that moisture before the bag takes over and you say, let it do its job.
Yeah.
Now, what about finding you guys online? Where do we find you? What about samples? How do we try grow bags?
We are crazy with giving away samples. I think any other business would look at us and say, you guys are nuts. You give away way too many samples. But we know seeing is believing, and it's the only way people are going to really believe that this product does what it does. So you can go on autocure.ca. There is a sign up form. And actually, you know what? We hit our max for this month, so it turned off. We didn't anticipate this problem with the software we're using for free samples, so we'll have to upgrade for next month. So April 1st, you can go to autocure.ca, sign up for a free sample. You get a half-ounce freebie just to try out. And we're doing the same thing on growthbags.ca as well. We manage both websites. It's an interesting setup we have. But yeah, there's that distinction of websites where we're taking care of both of them. So when you see Ryan signed off on your invoice, that's one of us.
Right on, right on. And guys, go check them out. Like I swear by them now. It's the main product that I use for curing, and I find it works extremely well. And as mentioned before, you open up that bag for the first time, it's just like a punch in the face. It's amazing how well these work. So the rest of the year, what do you guys got coming for the rest of the year? Any new products you're bringing to market, new designs, things that we should be aware of?
Yeah, well, we just launched these new colors, so we got a new size too. This is a 2-ounce bag.
Yeah.
And it's got the soft touch. So it's got a child resistant Ziploc as well. So an upgraded zipper, 2-ounce. The color's beautiful, feels great. We've got our velvet soft touch. We just got these. These are an amazing bag.
Oh,
It's
too cool.
Yeah, quarter pound. It's got velvet soft touch feel to it. It has the CR zipper as well. So what we've essentially done is launched a premium line of products. We've got this in the white and black as well. So what we're noticing with people online is they're ordering their normal amount of curing bags, and then they're just kind of throwing on a couple of these premiums just as their kind of go-to stash bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're of course introducing CR packaging for the LPs. So one of the biggest complaints we get, I'm sure you're aware of this, is that product is just drying up on the shelves in dispensaries and retail locations.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're looking to do is solve that problem with growth bags, where companies will be able to package their flower using Terp technology. And instead of product degrading and drying out once it leaves their facility, it's going to continue to cure and improve in quality, the aromas, the flavor, and retain those terpenes. And anecdotally, we're actually hearing from some growers that they're retaining more THC than they used to with their prior method of curing. Yeah, that's a new one for us.
Yeah.
We need more data, but anecdotally, that's what we're being told. So
I remember this has to do with like the oxidization or something like
absolutely.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense in that regard.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're watching today and you're like, well, I want some growth bags, but I can't quite get the samples going, I got a stack right here from Ryan. He sent some stuff over. So leave a comment down below. Tell me that you want to win a growth bag. We'll pick a winner here in probably about a week time. We'll get those sent out to you from the Photosynthetic crew. Ryan, been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today, learning about the grow bags. Again, a product that I swear by, and I hope everybody gets a chance to try them. And anything else that you want to leave us with before we call her a day?
Ooh, I think growth bags is going to do wonders for this industry this year. If you think of the whole process, lighting, soil, food, there's a product for every step of the way, except for curing until now. So the hype is real. Growth bags work. Simplify your life. We have hashtag ditch the jars on Instagram. Yeah, we do have a few other products coming up, some low stress training clips and some air pots we're introducing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working with a manufacturer here to kind of just make some new products there, little improvements that we've noticed we could make on our current clips and pots. So we're gonna go have a go at that. But growth bags all the way. Product of 2022, we're saying for the cannabis space.
Absolutely. So guys, check it out. Links down below. Ryan, thanks so much for stopping by. This was Meet the Industry. We out.
Thanks so much for having me.